as I share the story of Charlie and his mother Rachel in PNG. It is so very hard for a parent to hear the dreaded diagnosis of leprosy for their child. Your son has leprosy comes as a crushing blow on top of all their other burdens in life. Look at all the heartbreaking hardships that Rachel, Charlie's mother, already had to bear in Papua New Guinea. Charlie's little sister is seriously disabled. They live in a village in poverty. There is literally no land at all. They live on stilts over filthy water off the shore of the capital city. With no soil to grow healthy food, sickness is rife. Diabetes, tuberculosis, and leprosy. Rachel created the best home she could for her children, but when she heard leprosy, it broke her. Among the world's most disadvantaged people, leprosy is still so deadly and feared that many people with the disease are afraid to come forward. In fact, for every child you have helped to find and cure in Papua New Guinea, like Charlie, our research suggests 5 more cases remain hidden. Please consider supporting our annual appeal to rebuild leprosy-broken lives amongst our neighbours in Papua New Guinea. The New Zealand government has committed to matching our fundraising for the Preventative Health and Community Empowerment Project. Every dollar you donate is turned into 5. I really do shudder to think what would have happened to Charlie if his mother had kept him hidden, as so many families do in PNG. Even so, leprosy has left brutal scars on Charlie's childhood. Malnourished children like Charlie have few defences against leprosy. His first symptom was the telltale patches of numb skin on his back. Soon his face was swollen, almost beyond recognition. Disfiguring lumps called nodules peppered his bloated cheeks. His mother was horrified. She sought help from the only health worker serving their village, one of the Leprosy Mission volunteers you support so generously. The volunteer took Charlie to a clinic, and then the dreaded diagnosis came. Your son has leprosy. His mother's spirit was so broken by the terrible news, she refused to accept it. With all her other burdens, leprosy was just too much to bear. So Charlie's leprosy kept getting worse. The teasing started first from his friends, but then from other children, terrorising the little boy who was already frightened about the future. They get cross, they bully me, he told me plaintively, remembering the abuse. I felt sad. Poor Charlie was so embarrassed and ashamed. He still found solace in playing football until his foot stopped working properly. Charlie was developing leprosy's drop foot. He started tripping over his foot because he could not lift it properly. Humiliated, Charlie stopped playing his beloved sport. Next, Charlie's wounds stopped healing. In his sea village on stilts, the metal walkways between houses have razor-sharp edges. Cuts are part of growing up there. But Charlie's gashes became weeping ulcers that ate away the flesh on his legs. Eventually, Charlie could no longer walk to school. This was tragic for Charlie, who loved to watch the plane soaring over the ocean and dreamed of being a pilot. Charlie knew he would never learn to fly unless he did very well at school, but leprosy was stealing his education. Charlie's family income fell to starvation levels as his mother and his aunt had to cut into precious work time to look after him and his little sister. With the loving insistence of the health worker you support, Charlie's mother relented and finally accepted the diagnosis of leprosy. She then committed herself to making sure her son took every single tablet of his year-long course of medication. And it worked. Charlie's leprosy has been cured, and we thank you for making his cure possible. But for every child like Charlie who is found and cured, 5 more are hidden. I couldn't shake that frightening fact when I was talking with Charlie on the phone. The call quality was patchy, but the joy in his voice was very clear. Despite the scars of leprosy and all the tears from the teasing and the bullying, Charlie is seeing his dreams in life being restored. He still has remnants of leprosy patches on his back. He still has ulcers that he keeps clean with ointment that you help provide. He is not back at school yet, but that day is getting closer because he is determined that he is going to be able to walk to class once more. Every day, he uses a bright pink scarf for his exercises to build the strength in his withered foot. His dream of being a pilot is coming into focus again, and after talking with Charlie, I believe he can learn to fly. But what frightens and upsets me is that for every Charlie we find, there's 5 more hidden cases. I think of the woman who touched Jesus' clothes and was healed, and how many more in the crowd needed healing, but were afraid to come forward. Please help find the leprosy-affected people of PNG who are too frightened to come forward for their cure. Your kindness will be multiplied. Your gift will help find and cure cases of leprosy like Charlie's, or support dedicated health volunteers across PNG. Your gift will bless 45 communities and 200,000 people for better health and protection against leprosy. Please, if you can, take a moment to go online and donate at our website, or fill out the donation form with your letter. Or you can call our friendly team in the office. They'd be delighted to hear from you. Or use your internet banking. Every dollar counts. Along with your donation, please pray for the success of our projects in PNG. We aim to minister to people in the way that Jesus did, bringing healing to the whole person, not just the disease. The best way to fight leprosy is to give people a chance to improve their whole lives, especially health, nutrition, and income. In these last days of the disease, the only people at risk from leprosy are those who cannot afford to keep themselves healthy. Thank you for giving the chance to children like Charlie. He is so happy to be dreaming about his future again. So please, along with your donation, please take a moment to write an encouraging note on the airplane colouring card I've enclosed, so Charlie can colour it in. For every case like Charlie's, so many more remain hidden in PNG. Please help us find those hidden children so they can fly far beyond leprosy in their lives. Your gift will be multiplied. With God's blessings, Gillian.